Tina Ambani, who's wife of Anil Ambani, has appeared before the Enforcement Directorate. That is the latest we're getting in. She will be examined by the Enforcement Directorate in a FEMA case. Remember, Anil Ambani just yesterday appeared before the ED in a FEMA case. He was questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in a FEMA case, and now his wife is appearing before the ED. She will be examined by the ED, and my colleague Shravan Sen, senior editor, is joining us on the phone line. Shravan, what more details can you share with us?
Well, Rakshita, this comes just a day after her husband Anil Ambani was also questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. This was regarding a fresh FEMA case that was registered against AD8 Group Chairman Anil Ambani. It's under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, is what we are being told. He had appeared before the central agency in Mumbai. Now, this was in connection with an investigation linked to an alleged contravention of the foreign exchange law. In fact, we're given to understand that this is a fresh case in which he was asked to appear. In the past, he's already appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in 2020 in a money laundering case that was registered against Yes Bank promoter Rana Kapoor and others. But as far as Tina Ambani is concerned, remember, this is the first time that she is now being examined by the Enforcement Directorate. We are being told that it is in the same FEMA case in which Anil Ambani was also examined.
Right. All right. As we, Anil Ambani was questioned by for 8 hours in the Forex violation case. And of course, now, Shravan, of course, if you're still with us, any leads on to what Tina Ambani will be probed on? What could be her role in this, or whatever? What has been suspected as far as her role in this case is concerned?
Well, at this point in time, the exact role that is being looked into is not very clear. But what we can tell our viewers right now is that this is with regards to an alleged FEMA violation that surfaced during the Income Tax Department's investigation into Anil Ambani's alleged undeclared offshore assets amounting to about 800 crore rupees. Now, in the final assessment order in March last year, the Income Tax Department in their investigation wing had basically said that they had detected undeclared offshore assets. And these were investments that were made by Anil Ambani under the Black Money Imposition of Tax Act 2015. Now, the order which later on came in, they had issued notices to Anil Ambani on the web of alleged undeclared offshore assets, and this goes back to 2019. The Income Tax Department had also listed offshore entities and details of transactions in linked bank accounts, and which basically added up to over 800 crore rupees. And importantly, the income tax order had basically detailed Ambani's beneficial ownership of entities in 2 offshore havens, Bahamas and British Virgin Islands. Now, based on which the Enforcement Directorate has also filed a FEMA case, and that is the reason why he is now being called in for questioning. Tina Ambani too has made an appearance before the Enforcement Directorate. Perhaps Rakshita will have to wait for some time before we get more clarity as to why exactly Tina Ambani is now being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate.
As Shravan Sen is pointing out, Tina Ambani has been questioned by the ED in a case related to Anil Ambani. Do remember that Mukesh Ambani's sibling Anil Ambani had reached the Enforcement Directorate's office in Mumbai yesterday. He was questioned for over 8 hours. Now, Shravan, Anil Ambani had appeared before the ED in 2020 also, I think, in a money laundering case that was related to the Yes Bank promoter Rana Kapoor and others. Obviously, this case is a different one, or do you think there are any linkages to that one as well?
Well, Rupert, there is absolutely no link whatsoever. That is a money laundering case that was being probed by the Enforcement Directorate, and the case was registered against the Yes Bank promoter Rana Kapoor. This is a different case altogether. This is a FEMA case, and unlike in the case of in a money laundering case, where remember that's a criminal offence. As far as this is concerned, at max penalty would be levied if they come across any violation. Now, this is pertaining to an income tax department's investigation into his alleged undeclared offshore assets, which the income tax department had indicated amounted to almost 800 crore rupees. And there was an order that too was passed last year in March, in which the income tax department's investigation wing had said that it had detected undeclared offshore assets, and these assets were in British Virgin Islands and in Bahamas. And notice was also issued to the industrialist. This was on the web of alleged undeclared offshore assets, and these offshore assets dates back to 2019. Based on which now you're looking at this case being registered by the Enforcement Directorate. Now there are details of it which of course also appeared during the Pandora Papers investigation, which was also reported by multiple publications, which perhaps indicated the presence of offshore companies that were incorporated by the Ambanis back in 2019 in the British Virgin Islands, specifically companies like, he had set up a diamond trust back in 2006 in Bahamas, and thereafter also another company which goes by the name of North Atlantic Trading Limited, and this was also incorporated by Anil Ambani in 2010 in the British Virgin Islands. And all of these companies had a link to a bank account with the Bank of Cyprus. And the entity had about 18, there were 18 entities that were basically linked to Anil Ambani. And this found a mention in the Pandora Papers, if you remember, based on which you're looking at the Enforcement Directorate also, looking into the foreign exchange violation. But this is not the first such case in which, Anil Ambani, his name has surfaced. There are other foreign exchange violation cases which are also being probed by the Enforcement Directorate.
Now, Shravan, as you're pointing out, trouble has been mounting for Anil Ambani. In fact, he's been in and out of these questionings, whether they are by the ED or, the Income Tax Department. In August last year also, there was, an Income Tax Department notice that was issued to Anil Ambani over, about 420 crore rupees in taxes that he owed to the country. These, of course, were on undisclosed funds in 2 Swiss bank accounts. So, broadly, Shravan, there appears to be a web of foreign transactions and, undisclosed income that Anil Ambani seems to have been involved with, and various agencies, seeming to be following up in that. Can you sum this up for us, please?
Well, in particular, there are only 2 agencies that are looking into the offshore accounts. One is the Income Tax Department, and the other happens to be the Enforcement Directorate. As far as the other federal agency is concerned, that is the Central Bureau. As far as I can recollect, Nupur, I don't think so. The Central Bureau of Investigation is looking into any of the offences at this point in time, because that has got nothing to do with criminal conspiracy or the other various sections of the IPC. This is particularly to do with the Black Money Act, and more importantly, the Foreign Exchange Management Act, under which this case has essentially been registered against Reliance ADA Group Chairman Anil Ambani. And importantly, this is not the first time that he's made an appearance before the Enforcement Directorate. He's also been examined in a money laundering case, which, of course, is has turned out to become far more troublesome for the industrialists than, for instance, in this particular case, because whatever happens in the end, as far as the investigation goes, at max a penalty would be levied if they basically come across a violation, a foreign exchange violation that has taken place, and they have not disclosed the foreign exchange transactions that have essentially taken place.
All right, I think we're running into some audio trouble over there with Shravan, but we're going to try and reconnect to him. But the latest that we are getting is that Tina Ambani, the wife of industrialist Anil Ambani, has also been questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, we are given to understand that she's appeared before the ED. Now, do remember that the ED had yesterday questioned Reliance ADAG Group Chairman Anil Ambani in a foreign exchange violation case linked to allegations that appeared in the Pandora Papers. Ambani was at the ED's office for around 8 hours to record his statement. He then left at about 6 in the evening. Now, the ED has now summoned his wife And AG spokesperson, of course, has declined to comment on these developments. The ED is investigating the case under the Foreign Exchange Management Act of FEMA. ED is probing allegations that Anil Ambani brought huge sums of money to India in around 2007 in the form of foreign direct investment in his companies. It was alleged that Ambani and his associate companies showed that they had raised loans abroad before bringing the money to India under the FDI through the banking channel. And at around 2015, this money was then sent abroad, showing it as repayment. The amount brought in was still to be qualified, but sources have indicated that it could be about 2,000 crore rupees.